Greetings, mighty companions, and welcome back to Practical and Healing Applications of A Course in Miracles with me, Anna Rebecca Quinn, formerly Anna Kujawa. And as we always do on my Monday class, I have gone into meditation and asked Spirit to decide for us all what and where in A Course in Miracles that it would have us hear and apply and work on. And when I did that today, the section that came up was called Above the Battleground. It's a great section. Really says it all about how to get above a battleground, how to experience your life and your relationships as not a battleground. I don't know about you, but sometimes it feels like our lives and our loves seem to be a battleground, just like the song Love's a Battleground. Remember that song, Pat Benatar, Love's a Battlefield? Well, this section acknowledges why it is and how it is that our lives and our relationships come to feel like a battleground or a battlefield sometimes, and how to get above it. The Course in Miracles says there is a way to look, to get up above the battle, the conflict, and look down on the conflict and see it in a way that brings peace and healing to you and everyone. Now, what could be more practical than that? Especially in these days and times where war seems to be a terrifying reality that seems to be unfolding at this time. Interesting that the class I did just yesterday at the Miracle Center was all about the same thing. The question was, how is peace possible in this world? And we had a lot to say, a lot to talk about relative to well, where does war come from? What is war? And how to experience peace even when war seems to be a reality. So apparently Spirit is working a theme with me in particular about how to have peace even when your world and your relationships look like there is war going on. They look and feel like a battleground. So this is Spirit helping me to have another perception, how to see a world at war, how to see a life at war, how to see the war within my own self in such a way that I can experience peace, no matter what kind of war seems to be going on, whether it's a world war going on, which does seem to be unfolding, or a war in relationship with someone, or a war against myself, a war within myself. Of Course in Miracles talks about the war against yourself. You know, if you have a split mind, then there are two parts of you that are in conflict with each other. There's a war going on within you. And so, but the Course in Miracles was telling us yesterday in class that there is a way to experience peace in any situation. There's a way to transform any kind of battleground, any kind of war, whether it's out there or in here, in such a way that you transform it into heaven, into a state of mind of peace. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight, and thank you, Spirit, for the theme that you are obviously working in my life. All right, so let me see if I can find myself. I want to monitor myself. See if I can find myself here so that I can see your comments. All right, let's see here. How can I find myself? All right. Come on, self, where are you? Nope, I see kind of. Oh, there I am. Okay, beautiful. Now I can see your comments, guys, so feel free to comment, ask questions, and I appreciate your questions. If you hear me saying something and you do not see how to apply that here and now to your relationships or your world, feel free to ask. Questions are great, and also I appreciate your comments as well. So here we go. Now, I want to tell you that in the blue covered edition, in both editions, it's chapter 26, section 4. Okay? But in the original edition, which is the purple covered edition or the black cover with white pearls or a few other versions, it is chapter 26, section 4, paragraph 7. So if you're in the blue covered edition, where yours starts, I'm sorry, let me see if I can get this right. Okay, so in the blue covered edition, it's chapter 26, section 4, but where I'm starting in the original edition has 7 paragraphs before. So I'm guessing that maybe in the blue covered edition where I'm starting is probably chapter 26, section 3 at the end. So maybe when Greg gets settled, he'll look to see where it exactly is. But in the blue covered edition, let's see. Anyway, I can't figure it out right now.
I'll figure it out.
Greg will figure it out. Thank you, honey. All right. Here we go. So if you're in the blue covered edition where I'm starting, you need to go probably to chapter 26, section 3 and go to the end. And where it starts in this edition, the original dictation, it starts with, is it not true that you do not recognize some of the forms that attack can take? It's like what you and me were talking about earlier. It's like, was that an attack? Or is that not an attack? What was that? We don't recognize all the forms that attack can take. We don't recognize that judgment is an attack. We don't recognize often that what we call just an opinion is an attack. We don't often realize that, we don't recognize the forms that attack can take. So 26:4, and in the
annotated.
In the annotated original edition.
This one starts off with forgiveness of this world's
Right, but go to the end. Is this the blue covered? The annotated? Okay. The name of this section is Above the Battleground. And so, but in the blue covered edition, I think it's 26:4, and then toward the end of, 26:3 toward the end. And the starting paragraph is, isn't it not true? Is it not true that you do not recognize some of the forms that attack can take? That's a rhetorical question, and the answer is yes. I don't recognize some of the forms that my attack can take. Okay? So sometimes my attack takes a form that I don't recognize as an attack. I just say, I'm just sharing my opinion, right? I'm just sharing my opinion, when really it's an attack. Now, it says, if it is true that attack in any form will hurt you, and attack will hurt you just as much as in another form which you do recognize, then it must follow that you do not always recognize the source of pain. Okay, so we just heard, what is the source of pain? It's always attack. Why am I experiencing pain? Where is this pain coming from? Going to A Course in Miracles, it's not coming from your low back because you tweaked it. It's coming because somewhere down the road, down the line, you attacked, meaning you gave something besides love, but you didn't recognize that you were attacking. You called it something else. But whether you recognize attack as what it is or not, the result is pain. If you attack, you get pain. That's the way it goes. Wow. So yes, that's true. I don't recognize that some of the forms that my attack can take, and I also don't recognize that there's no way for me to attack or judge or whatever form I call it and not experience pain. You attack, you get pain. What's the source of pain? Attack. So I've got some pain going on. I need to ask myself, where have I been attacking, but not recognizing that I was attacking? Okay? So
In the blue book, it's 23:3.
Okay. In the blue book.
Annotated 23:4.
Okay, thank you so much. Would you be willing to type that onto my? And if you want to type it on here, you can.
I can do it.
Okay, great. It's so in the blue covered edition, it's 23:3, and in the original edition, it is 23:4. 23:4. Okay, great. Thank you. Bless you. All right. So y'all, where does pain come from? It comes from attack. Says, and so in other words, attack in any form will hurt you. That's what we need to hear first. Attack in any form will hurt me. So if I don't want to hurt myself again, then I don't want to attack in any form. Okay. All right. Now, then what is an attack? It is anything but love. Okay, so anything but love is an attack. Well, what do you mean by attack? What do you mean attack? Well, it's anything but love. And then it goes on to say that attack in any form is equally destructive. Ooh, so it doesn't matter if your attack is a whisper. It doesn't matter if your attack is just an opinion. It doesn't matter if your attack is coming through a shout. It doesn't matter if your attack is coming with smiles. It doesn't matter if your attack is coming through, well, I'm just trying to be helpful and telling you what an idiot you are, right? It doesn't matter what form your attack comes in. It is equally destructive in any form. All right. What do you mean equally destructive? It will hurt you. It will hurt you. All right. Good to know. Here's something else to know about attack that you don't recognize most of the time. Okay, so most of the time I'm hurting myself, being destructive to myself, to my relationship, to my body, and I have no idea where that is coming from. I think it's coming from everybody else. I think it's coming because I live in a crazy, insane world. I think it's coming because, well, that's how it goes when you have a body. Of course, the Miracle says, no, destructiveness and pain is not natural, and it's not coming from somewhere outside you. It's coming from you attacking, but doing it in forms that you don't recognize. We're attacking, but we hide it. We hide it with smiles, and we hide it with so-called good intent. All right. It says, so attack's purpose does not change. All right? And attack's sole intent is murder, comma, and what form of murder serves to cover the massive guilt and frantic fear of punishment that the murderer or attacker must feel? Okay, that's one of those sentences in A Course in Miracles where you're like, where you have to remember what A Course in Miracles itself tells you about studying this material, and that is that you do not need to believe or understand or welcome or accept anything you hear in A Course in Miracles, and what you hear in A Course in Miracles may be quite startling, and you may experience intense resistance. It says, but that doesn't matter. That what matters is that you use it, and then the use of it will show you that it's true. But what's hard to understand and to believe and to accept right here is that the sole purpose of attack in any form is murder. Okay. And you can't attack, and no form of attack can cover the massive guilt and frantic fear of punishment that the attacker must feel. Wow. So you can't attack without experiencing guilt. You can't attack without experiencing massive guilt and also frantic fear of retaliation. That's a given, okay? So you can't, there's no sense in like, well, I attacked them, but I feel great about that. I feel so vindicated. I feel fabulous. I'm so empowered. I feel great. That doesn't occur. It's impossible that you attack, even if you call it justified, even if you tell yourself it is valid and is justified. It does not cover up the massive guilt and frantic fear of retaliation that you must feel when you attack. Why? Because the ultimate deeper purpose of attack is murder. Right, when you're attacking, what are we telling people? You don't deserve to live. You don't deserve to be happy. That is the psychological context of attack. I know it's hard to believe, but once you begin using these ideas, you will see that they are true. So, but the thing that I want us to hear here is that you can't attack and you can't attack and escape feeling guilt and having a frantic fear of a punishment or retaliation, even if you tell yourself that that attack is justified and that your anger is valid. You can't attack and not feel guilt and not feel fear of retaliation. Okay. That's what A Course in Miracles says about attack. Whew. All right. Beautiful. Course in Miracles is so full of things hard to believe. All right, I love it. Zen says, preach it, soul sister. Thank you. Thank you. That's what I needed to hear. Even if nobody's going to agree with what I'm going to say, it's so nice that I'm over here and you're wherever you are so I can say these ideas and not have a shoe thrown at me. And Tricia says, even allowing one's mind to condemn others with hate. Exactly. Even if they're not around, even if they have no idea that you're attacking them, even if, you don't know them personally, they don't know you. You cannot attack, you cannot condemn someone in your mind and not experience massive guilt and fear of retaliation. That's what A Course in Miracles is telling us. And it's confirmation of what it's saying is that every time you attack or condemn or judge, like Tricia was saying, that you are giving yourself pain. That is the sole cause of pain in any form. Whew. So what am I suffering from? My own condemnation. What am I suffering from? It seems like a backache. It seems like a heartache. It seems like I'm terrified in this world that I live in. Oh, right. That's what it seems like it's coming from. The truth is that the sole cause of pain in any form is condemnation and attack, which tells me that you can go through any kind of something that might look like suffering, but if you're not judging, if you're not condemning, if you're not blaming, if you're not attacking someone or yourself, then you can experience that thing and not experience pain. Okay? Hard to believe, but everything that's truth is hard to believe here, right? And so don't expect what's true to be easy to understand or believe here, right? The reason here feels so hellish sometimes, like a battleground, like a battlefield, is because we don't know the truth about ourselves. And because we don't know the truth about ourselves, we're attacking all day long in a myriad of different forms that aren't really different and just causing suffering to us and to our world. That's why the world is and feels like such a battleground, because we're all attacking, not recognizing that we're just hurting ourselves and causing pain for ourselves. All right, now, so that was only one paragraph. Thank you. Naya says, looking good in the color red. Sharing your ACIM wisdom. Thank you, Naya. Appreciate that. All right. And God, I love the sacred geometry above. All right. Okay. Thank you, Naya. Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay, paragraph 2. Now, the one who is attacking, judging, or condemning, although they don't recognize that's what they're doing, they may deny that they are a murderer. They may deny that's their purpose, and they may justify their savagery, their attack, with smiles as they attack. Yet, will the person who attacks and condemns suffer? And the person who attacks and the person who condemns, whatever form, even if it's with smiles and laughter, yet will the person who condemns and attacks suffer. Which means that person will look on their intent in nightmares, where the smiles are all gone, it's not so funny anymore, and where the purpose of their attack and judgment condemnation rises to meet their horrified awareness and to pursue them still. All right, interesting idea about the nightmares, okay? If you're judging and condemning and attacking, even though you're justifying it and covering it with smiles and laughter or joking, you will see your condemning, attacking intent in your nightmares, and you will perceive that you are being pursued by that murderous intent. So in your nightmares, you'll be experiencing people who have a murderous intent towards you. Anybody ever experienced somebody having a murderous intent on you in one of your nightmares? Anybody ever experienced someone or something trying to kill you in your nightmares? Anyone? All the time. That's what a nightmare is. Something's trying to get me. Something's trying to kill me. Something's after me, right? Isn't that what's going on in our nightmares? Of Course in Miracles is telling us that that is our attacks pursuing us, coming back for us in our nightmares. That's what's really going on. And apparently, if I wasn't attacking and condemning and judging in my so-called waking times, then I wouldn't be having nightmares where I'm being pursued by something that wants to murder me. Good to know. So if you suffer from nightmares where something is in there trying to get you, you may want to take a bit of an inventory into your thinking and notice if you're having any attack thoughts, if you're having a lot of grievances where you're angry and you're having attacking, condemning thoughts for others, okay? Something you may want to look at, and if so, then you may want to do this section. Take those attack thoughts to this section. Take it to any place in A Course in Miracles, because that's what A Course in Miracles is all about. Showing you the true nature of your thoughts, and also how to allow them to be corrected by truth, by love, so that your thoughts are not attacking and condemning and bringing you pain as a result. Okay. Could you turn the water down a little bit? Thanks, hon. Okay. All right. Good to know. I know a lot of people suffer with nightmares. Everybody does at some point in time, you know, where you're being pursued by something that wants to kill you. That explains a lot, you know. All right, so the more angry you are, the more hurt and angry you feel, the more you, and you're not taking responsibility for that and asking love and light to heal and correct those thoughts, those thoughts about being hurt, then the more nightmares you may have, if you even remember your nightmares. All right. It says, because nobody thinks of murder or attack or condemnation and escapes the guilt that the thought of attack entails. Okay. Wow. I love it. Okay. So then it says, so if the intent of attack or condemning thoughts is death, which we don't recognize that it is, of course, then what matter the form that intent, that murderous intent takes? So who cares what form your attack thoughts take? The intent behind all the attack thoughts is the same, and you can't have those attack thoughts and condemning thoughts with that murderous intent and not escape the guilt that that thought and that intent entails. Okay, good to know. And so then, so in other words, you can't attack without experiencing massive guilt. You can't condemn without experiencing massive guilt and frantic fear of retaliation. They go together. Now, you may hide all of that, and that's what we do. You know, when I attack and I have condemning, attacking thoughts, now I am have guilt and frantic fear of retaliation, but I'm gonna hide what I'm really feeling guilty about. Now I'm going to do something such that I don't realize, oh my God, I have been condemning all day long, and now I'm feeling paranoid, right? I don't realize, I cover it up so that now when I'm feeling paranoid and guilty, I blame it on it's the weather, or if somebody were different, I'd be happy, or I can't believe they did that again, I'm so pissed, okay? Like it said in the first sentence, isn't it true that you do not recognize some of the forms that attack can take? In other words, we are attacking, but we don't recognize that we're attacking, and so we don't recognize the real source of what seems to hurt us and what we're feeling guilty and paranoid about, really. All right. Course in Miracles tells it like it is. Course in Miracles does not care that seems offensive to you at all. The author of the Course in Miracles does not care, because the Course in Miracles is wanting us to have the truth, because only when you have the truth can you truly be free of massive guilt and fear of retaliation, which is paranoia. And so thank you, Course in Miracles, for telling it like it is and not giving a damn whether we get it or like it. Okay, so that's a very loving teacher we have here. And that's why our teacher came back through a book. Because our teacher knows what we do to people who tell us things that we don't like to hear. All right. So it says, is death in any form, however lovely and charitable it may seem to be, a blessing and a sign that the voice for God speaks through you to another? The wrapping does not make the gift you give. An empty box, however beautiful and gently given, still contains nothing. And neither the receiver nor the giver of an empty box is long deceived by an empty box. So if you withhold forgiveness from others, then you are attacking them. Okay, so it's not like, well, I'm not going to give forgiveness to you, but I'm just going to remain neutral. No, if you withhold forgiveness from another, you actually are still attacking them.
And in this case, forgiveness would be innocence.
Yes, exactly. If you withhold release from guilt to another, then you're still attacking another. Now, when you're attacking another, then you are giving that person nothing, and you're receiving of them nothing, the nothing that you gave them. So that's what's really going on when you're withholding release from guilt from another. That's what it means to withhold forgiveness. So you're either offering them something real and true called innocence, or you're withholding something real and true called release from guilt, and you are going to now receive of them nothing. So you're either giving them release from guilt, or you're giving them attack. Okay, no compromise. You're either giving them love or you're giving them murder. You're either giving them life or you're giving them death. You're either giving them love or you're giving them murder. Of course, in Miracle says there's no compromise in that. It's not like you can give something in between. Well, can I give just a little bit of attack with a lot of love? Can I just, mix it up a little bit and compromise a little bit? And the Course in Miracles says, no, you're either giving one or the other to each other. And thank God, and the reason why you're either giving one or the other is because they don't mix. They don't mix. You can't blend a lot of love with a little bit of murder. A lot of love with a little bit of hate. You're either giving love or hate. Now, you may shift what you're giving from moment to moment, but you're only giving one or the other.
Something or nothing.
You're either giving something or nothing. And what you receive back from them is going to be exactly like what you gave them. So if you're either giving them something or nothing, and that's exactly what you're going to be receiving back from them, whatever you gave them. You give them nothing and receive of them but what you gave. If you withhold release from guilt from them. That's what forgiveness means. Forgiveness isn't, I forgive you for what you did to me, even though I'll never forget, because you don't deserve it. But since I'm a Course in Miracles student and I'm so enlightened, then I'll forgive you, even though I'm only forgiving you because I'm the more enlightened of the two. Okay, that's not forgiveness, according to A Course in Miracles. A Course in Miracles calls that forgiveness to destroy. Okay, but forgiveness means release from guilt. Just release from guilt, which is the same as not attacking another. Okay. All right. So it says love or happiness or freedom, liberation, all synonyms for salvation. So let's say freedom from fear is no compromise of any kind. So if you really want, and though we're saying that there's no compromise, he says compromise in this context means to compromise between love and murder, especially by expressing murderous content in a loving form. So there's no compromise. In other words, you can't attack a little and love a little and know the difference. Okay, that's what A Course in Miracles is saying. You can't attack a little and love a little and know the difference and be loving. There's no compromise. Freedom, love, joy, no pain, no suffering. Let's say that. I can relate to that. Salvation, I don't know what that means. I can't relate to that. But no pain, no suffering, I can relate to that. And no pain, no suffering is no compromise of any kind between love and attack. Okay? And because to compromise is to accept but a part of what you want, to take a little and give up the rest. But no pain, no suffering gives up nothing. No pain, no liberation from pain and suffering is complete for everyone. In other words, let the idea of compromise even enter, and the awareness of no suffering's purpose is lost, because now it's not recognized. In other words, freedom from suffering is denied where compromise between love and attack has been accepted. Because compromise is the belief that freedom from suffering is impossible. So the freedom from suffering is experienced where you're not trying to attack a little the ones you say you love. Okay, that's what compromise is. It's like, well, you only hate the ones you love. You only attack the ones you love. That's a compromise that we're making. Like, oh, well, you can you can hate and attack the ones you love. I mean, that's totally normal. That Course in Miracles says that that is a compromise that does not produce the end of suffering and pain. Okay, so that's a compromise, and but love doesn't make that compromise. And so release from suffering is no compromise at all. So if you want release from suffering, call hate what it is. Stop calling it love. And stop trying to connect love and hate. Well, I love you sometimes and I hate you sometimes. No. You either love or you hate, right? Love and hate, love and attack do not go together. Love does not attack sometimes. Hate does not love sometimes. Okay? There's no compromise there. So don't say, well, I only attack you, honey, because I love you. I'm only trying to murder you, baby, because I love you. Honey, I wouldn't be trying to strangle you, run you down with a car, unless I loved you, baby. So come on back. Okay, that's not what love says.
I'm only trying to help you.
I'm only trying to help you. That's that's why I'm attacking you.
Nobody else tells you because they're all afraid of you, but I'm trying to help you.
I love you, so now I'm gonna attack you. Okay, that's trying to make a compromise between two things that are opposite. And so you can't be you're not really loving somebody if you're also attacking them. You're just attacking them, And the Course in Miracles is saying your intent is murder. Oh, baby, don't take it personally that I'm trying to murder you, honey. I'm only trying to murder you because I love you. Well, please don't love me, honey. Please don't. Please don't. Please don't love me so I can live. Your love is killing me. These are all things we've all said and we've all heard before, not knowing at all the real meaning of love. I mean, we are so confused about the real meaning of love and the real meaning of attack that we literally cannot even conceive of love without attack. We literally cannot conceive of. We just assume that attack, aka murder, is a part of love. And the Course in Miracles says that we can't even conceive of love without attack or love without sacrifice. But in love, true love, there is no attack. Okay? In God, there is no attack. And in heaven, there is no attack. In God, there is no attack. We're like, there's no attack in God? That doesn't sound like the God that I've learned about as a child. Of course, in Miracle says that God is the only place of safety, because in God there is no attack. I know that's hard to believe. It's hard to fathom and imagine God without attack because of what we've learned about God. Of course, in Miracle says what we've learned about God is a total projection. What we think we know about God is our projection of our own ego onto God. We don't know the truth about God. The Course in Miracles says there is no attack in God. And that's why the only safety, true safety, is in God, because there's no attack in God. Attack is here. Attack is from us. Attack is our projection onto God. All right. And the only place of safety is wherever there's no attack, right? So we're looking for the place where there is no attack. We're looking to create a state of mind in our own minds where our minds aren't full of attack. Have you noticed that our minds are full of attack? I mean, our minds are all day long. Well, if you were different, I'd be happy. If this were different, I'd be happy. If that were different, I'd be happy. And if you were different, I'd be happy. You're the reason I'm not happy. If you would change, I'd be happy. That's all attack. And then we wonder why we don't feel safe in our own skin, in our own relationships, in our own world. We think, oh, that's just because God created this crazy world full of death, and that's natural, and that's why I'm afraid. No, that's not it at all. Of Course in Miracles is saying you're only afraid and paranoid and unhappy and dissatisfied because you attack, you condemn, you give something besides love. Okay. Whew, I'm so glad I didn't write this book. All right. Then it says, let's see where I was. I think I'm in paragraph 3 in my book, where it says, so even if you even just let the idea of a compromise between love and attack enter your mind, then the awareness of healing's purpose is lost, because healing is not recognized. Freedom is denied where compromise between love and attack has been accepted, because compromise between love and attack is the belief that love and happiness and freedom from suffering is impossible. Okay, so what is it? Compromise is the belief that freedom from suffering is impossible. If there's a little bit of attack in love and a little bit of love in attack, then freedom from suffering is impossible. There's no chance for freedom, no chance for love. If there's a little bit of attack in love, and if there's a little bit of love in attack, and of course, no compromise between love and attack. They do not go together. They are not the same. They are completely different, and you can only have one in the absence of the other. If you want to experience real love and safety and peace, it means no attack. Okay? If you want, that's the way it is. All right. If you want to experience attack and condemnation, then there ain't gonna be any love in that. Okay. No compromise. So compromise would maintain that you can attack a little and love a little and know the difference. Isn't that what we call relationships? Relationships, it's like you attack a little, you love a little, and you know the difference, but that's what compromise is. You can't attack a little and love a little and know the difference between love and attack. Right. If you think you can attack a little and love a little, and it's all love, then you're not going to experience real love. Now, in this context, what is real love? In this context, real love is where you feel truly safe, where you're not feeling massive guilt and a fear of retaliation. Okay? That's what it means to feel really safe. Okay? And you can only feel really safe in love. And what is the nature of love? No attack. What is, it's like, what is love? It means no attack. Love is where you are not attacking, and you're not afraid of attacking. You don't feel attacked. You're not worried about attack because you're not giving attack. That's what it means to be truly loving, or in a loving state of mind. Not worried about attack. So, so deep. It's so deep because our concept of love and attack is so deeply woven together that we can't even conceive of love without attack. We all go, well, I love Greg, and just because I have murderous thoughts about him sometimes, it doesn't mean I don't love him. It's like, of course, we're like, well, actually, the truth is that you want to love Greg, but you do not love Greg for real yet, like the love of God yet, because you still, mixing in a little attack, murderous thoughts every now and again. And so, of course, in Miracles is telling us if you want to experience real, true love and peace and safety and happiness, that means stop weaving in the attack and love. So what I have to say, about, my relationships is I want to love them like God. I want to love them and like God, but I'm still addicted to attacking and condemning. And so I am not experiencing the real deal, the real love of God yet, but I want to. That's my goal. And so now, every time I'm suffering, especially if I'm suffering in my relationships, Course in Miracles has taught me to go, okay, I'm suffering, and yes, it looks like them that's doing that to me, but I'm suffering because of my attack thoughts. You know, I'm suffering because I'm not being loving. I'm having attack and condemning thoughts. And that's why. So that Course in Miracles is teaching us how to stop calling our attack thoughts love. Pull them apart. Don't make that compromise so that I can sooner than later experience real love, which is a love that I'm not where my attack thoughts have not infiltrated. All right, and so the idea of compromise, trying to compromise between love and attack, would teach us that a little of the same can still be different and yet the same remain intact as one. Does that make any sense? Can that be understood? No, I don't understand that. Good. It's not understandable. The way that we conceive of love as being something that also entails and contains attack, which is murder, that doesn't make any sense, and that cannot be understood. All right. So don't be calling it love when it's not love. You know, call it what it is. It's attack. It's and condemnation. It's an intent to murder. If you call it what it is, then now it can be brought to correction. But if I call it love, then it can't be brought to correction. If I go, wow, that's attack. Those are my attack thoughts. That's an intent, hidden intent to murder. You call it what it is, then you'll be motivated to go, Spirit, please take this from me and correct that for me, because I do not want murderous thoughts in my mind anymore, especially since I'm realizing now that that's what's causing me to suffer. All right, how are we doing? Beautiful. And who's this attack? Zen says attack is like attacking a box of tacks. Exactly. You just get poked with a bunch of tacks. Very good. Exactly. I've often said that attack is like drinking poison, hoping the other person dies. You know, it's like, I'm gonna drink this poison. I hope it hurts you. Okay, that's smart. Okay, beautiful. And then Demi says, was Mother Teresa an example? I don't know of anyone else. I know. I don't know. I don't know her personally. She seemed like, you know, she was not wasting her time attacking people. It seemed like she was spending her time loving people and taking care of people. So I would assume I don't know, but good question. Go research that, Demi, and let me know what you come up with. But yes. All right, so we have to stop confusing love and attack. Okay, when you're condemning and attacking, call it what it is. Do not confuse that with love. Don't say I'm only attacking you and correcting you and judging you and condemning you and giving you guilt because I love you, baby. Stop doing that, because you're not going to be you'll never experience real love, and you'll never experience a feeling of an experience of real safety in your relationships while you're confusing the two. Okay? So when you're angry and you're attacking and judging, call it what it is. I'm having some murderous thoughts right now, and Spirit, please correct my murderous thoughts for me. Thank you very much. Okay? Don't call it something it's not. Don't confuse them, because then you can't get them corrected in your own mind. And then you can't experience this a relationship where you're not paranoid for retaliation. Now, paragraph 4. This Course in Miracles is easy. Did you know that? This Course in Miracles is easy. You know why? I know it doesn't seem like that, but the reason this course is easy, even if you don't recognize it, is just because that A Course in Miracles makes no compromise between love and attack. Okay? Love and murder. The Course in Miracles doesn't confuse them. That's why A Course in Miracles is easy. When you confuse love and attack, it's all going to be murky. It's all going to be very confusing. confusing and very painful. Now, yet this Course in Miracles seems difficult to those who still believe that compromise between love and hate, love and attack is possible. That's right. If you still want to believe that there can be some attack in love and vice versa, this course is going to seem to be very difficult. That's why people don't like this course. They want to be able to still call their attack love. They want to still be able to call their guilt love. Oh my God. You know, in this special relationship, you know, we definitely want to call our guilt that we give to others love. I'm only guilting you because I love you. And if you still want to use guilt to control people in the name of love, then this Course in Miracles will seem very, very difficult for you. I don't like that Course in Miracles. It tells me that the guilt I'm using to attack people with and control and manipulate them is not love. And I do not like that. So I am not going to continue to study this Course in Miracles, because I want the people I'm in a relationship with to believe that the guilt and the attack I'm giving them is because I love them. And that is what we believe. We're so confused. Like you said, if you make compromise, you're going to be confused. We are confused. People are attacking us with guilt and telling us they love us. And because we don't know the difference, now we're so confused. Why is this person who says they love me attacking me with guilt? Why are they attacking me with guilt? I'm so confused. Why is it now that the person that says they love me, why is it I want to get the hell away from them? A million miles away from them. I'm so confused. Now you see why we're so confused in our relationships? The more helpful way to look at our relationships and the love and the attack is that we aren't giving each other true love yet. It's our goal, but we don't know what love really is. We don't know what it really means. We still think that love is something that, that includes a lot of hate and attack and guilt. And so the better understanding, the better way to look at it is, I don't love perfectly yet because I'm still giving guilt and attack to those I say I love. But I want to love people, and I recognize that I'm still addicted to attacking with guilt those I say I love, but I don't really love them quite yet. And I don't want to do that anymore. I want to learn how to really love people, which means to not attack them with guilt. That's the more honest way to look at your relationships so that you're not so confused. And when you know that that's true, like, hey, the people I'm around, they don't know how to love yet. They don't know that real love does not entail any attack. They don't know how to love me for real yet. And so when they attack me with guilt, now I'm not confused. I'm like, they don't know how to love perfectly yet. So now I'm not so confused, like, oh, they say they love me, but why are they hurting me? Now I'm not confused. I know this person doesn't know how to love perfectly yet. Neither do I. That's why we're together. And so now I'm not confusing love and attack and feeling all confused. All right? Oh, so deep. Deborah, Tricia says, narcissist, you mean? Thank you. Deborah says, this Course in Miracles is calling me out. Thank you, Anna. Yes, this Course in Miracles calls us out. And this is why this Course in Miracles seems so difficult, right? Who hasn't said, this Course in Miracles is so complicated, so complex, so difficult? It's only difficult if you want to continue to believe and promote the idea that you're still loving somebody even if you're attacking them with guilt. Okay? It's like, oh, I do not want anything to tell. I don't want I don't want my partners, I don't want the people I'm in a relationship with to know that when I attack them with guilt that I'm not loving them. Because then when I say I'm only doing it because I love you, they'll be like, BS. And oh no, where's my power? Where's my control? Okay, that is the source of our illusion of controlling the other person. If the other person believes that guilt and attack is part of love, then when you try to manipulate and control them with guilt, attack them with guilt, then they will, then they'll be like, that ain't love, go away, right? I don't want them to do that. I don't want them to know that ain't love, because then they may feel like, goodbye, when you are able to love me, then I'll be back, call me, right? So, if you want to continue to control and manipulate people with guilt but call it love, then Course in Miracles will be completely difficult, not understandable, and offensive to you, okay? Like it is to me sometimes. All right, so it says, so the Course in Miracles is actually easy because it makes no compromise, yet A Course in Miracles seems difficult to those who still believe that compromise between love and guilt is possible. These folks who still believe that there's a compromise between love and guilt that's possible, these folks do not see that if there's a compromise between love and guilt, if love and guilt go together, then that means that love is attack. That means that freedom from suffering is attack. If love contains some guilt, that means that love is attack. They don't see that that's what that means if you can attack people with guilt and it still be love. Yet it is certain the belief that love is impossible cannot uphold a quiet, calm assurance that love has come. Right? If you think that love is impossible because you believe that love contains some guilt, then how in the world can that belief uphold a quiet, calm assurance that love has come? Well, what it's saying is that forgiveness cannot be withheld a little. Nor is it possible to attack for this and love for that and understand forgiveness or understand love. You can't understand love if you think that sometimes you can love and sometimes you can attack. If you think that sometimes you can withhold love a little but still be loving, then, you'll not understand love. Okay, you won't be able to understand love. Would you not want to recognize assault upon your peace in any form, if only by recognizing assault on your peace in any form does it become impossible that you lose sight of your peace? I love that question. So the question is here, I want to hear this question again. If recognizing an assault upon your peace in any form is the only way that you not lose sight of your peace, so the only way to not lose sight of my peace is to recognize every attack on my peace. So if I don't want to lose my peace, I got to recognize attacks on my peace, okay? So if I want to, don't you want to now recognize attacks on your peace? Okay. If the only way to not lose your peace is to recognize the attack on your peace, then don't you want to recognize the attacks on your peace for what they really are? Okay. I don't want to lose my peace, which means I got to recognize an attack on my peace. What is attacking my peace? What is attacking my peace? Okay. Now, my peace can be kept shining before my vision, which means forever clear, never out of sight, if I don't defend my peace. Very interesting. I only lose my peace when I defend my peace, right? Interesting. When I be like, taking my peace, you stole my peace. If you were different, I would be peaceful. Though the only way to lose your peace is to defend your peace. You're taking my peace. I gotta get my peace of mind back. Okay? That is the only, that is the attack on our peace. Whenever I defend my peace, you know, if you were different, I'd be happy. I gotta protect my peace against you with attack. That is how we lose sight of our peace. So it's like peace is something you have. Of Course in Miracles says peace is built in. God is peace. God created you with peace. It's not like peace is something you gotta go find or gotta go get. That's the way we think of peace. I need to give me some peace. When we're like, I need to get a peace, we think we have to go find our peace, and then we think we have to fight for our peace. I gotta defend my peace against you. Against you. That's how we do in relationships. And the Course in Miracles is saying that the assault on your peace is when you defend your peace, which is when you lose your peace. Very interesting. I love it. I love it. All right. So, if I want to keep my peace, then I need to not defend my peace. So what does it mean to defend my peace? It's like, well, you know, I've got to defend my peace. How? By attacking another. That's what we think. That's how we believe we keep our peace. By attacking those who seem to be attacking our peace, not realizing that in defending our peace is how we are losing our peace, not what they're doing to attack our peace. They're not attacking our peace. If we weren't defending our peace with attack, we would never lose sight of our peace, which means that our peace is part of us, and it is because peace is an attribute of God, and God created us with peace. I had a cool thought that peace is already in you, that peace is built in. Course in Miracles says peace and happiness and all the attributes of love and God, they're built in. That's the way we were created, because we were created by love. We were created by peace, which means it is part of us, which means unless you defend it with attack, you'll never lose sight of it. You'll never lose sight of it. Okay? So it's not about having to go out and fight for it or go out and find it and get some. It's about how do I not lose sight of the peace that's already built in to me as a child of peace, a child of God. Wow, deep, some very deep thoughts tonight. Very deep thoughts. Hi, Jean, lovely to see you. And hi, Terry. All right, beautiful. Demi says, that actually makes sense. That's what I think about the Course all the time. That actually makes finally something that actually makes sense. It's such a, that's why I love the Course. I'm like, that, you know, out of all the things that I have heard, you know, out of all the things we've heard, you know, about love and truth and God and peace, finally something that actually makes sense and also actually works to what? To help you not lose sight of your built-in peace. I have built-in happiness. I have built-in peace. It's like, what a radical, amazing concept. But like Demi said, it makes sense. If God is love and God is peace and God created us, doesn't it make sense that God would create us like God? You know, God is peaceful. God is happy. God is eternal. God is spirit. Doesn't it make sense that God would create us like God is? Isn't that what creators do? They create their creations like them. So, great thought. So that I only lose sight of my peace if I defend my peace. Because how do we defend our peace? Do we defend our peace, you know, lovingly? No, we always defend our peace with attack, with anger, with condemnation. Okay. All right. So, paragraph 5. Those who believe that peace can be defended, which means those who believe that attack is justified on peace's behalf, those folks, you know who, those folks, us, cannot perceive that peace lies within them. If you think peace can be defended, which means if you believe that attack is justified on behalf of keeping your peace, then you will never know that peace is within you. If I believe that my peace can be defended and that attack is justified in defending my peace, then I will never know that peace is within me now. All right. How could you know? How could you know that peace is within you now if you're defending your peace by attacking? Could you accept forgiveness side by side with the belief that murder takes some forms by which your peace is saved? That's what we believe. The way my peace is saved is if I just attack them. If I just attack them for what they said and did, then I'll have peace. Like, but when has that ever worked? When has it ever worked that you've attacked somebody and then honestly you had more peace because of it? I attacked them. Yeah, I may say, "Ooh, that feels so good. Ooh, that feels so good." But afterwards, what you don't see is that now you are filled with a frantic fear of retaliation and massive guilt. And so, wow. But that is how we do it. We believe that the way to save our peace is by murder or attack or condemnation, not realizing that not only are you not saving your peace, but you are actually making yourself more paranoid and more massively guilty. Wow. And you know, being paranoid means I'm afraid of how people think about me. I'm afraid of people's judgment. I'm worried about how people think about me. I'm worried about what people are saying about me. You know, that's what paranoia really means. I'm concerned how people are thinking about me, and I'm concerned about how people might treat me and what people are thinking about me. That's paranoia. And that is not because you're surrounded by people who are mean. It's because you're paranoid. You're expecting retaliation because you've been defending your peace with attack. You've been believing that attack is justified on the basis of you think you're protecting your peace. Wow, this is so deep. So deep. Demi says, massive guilt adds excess weight. No thanks. I got enough weight to deal with. I got enough weight. I don't need to add some more. I'm tired of being paranoid. I'm tired of being afraid. I'm tired of, like, you know, looking, you know, metaphorically, psychologically speaking, you know, always be like suspicious, you know, like, what are they thinking about me? Are they, you know, are they trying to get rid of me? What are they thinking about me? Do I have to worry? Blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm tired of all of that. And now I see it's not coming from them, you know, nor is it coming from the people in my past that I think hurt me. It's like, well, I'm paranoid about people because, you know, about, you know, who hurt me in the past. That is not why I'm paranoid. That's not why I'm suspicious, okay? It's because I have been, you know, thinking that my attack is justified because that's the way I keep my peace, right? Ooh-wee. The course is calling us out tonight. Now, it says, us who believe that our attack is justified in defense of our peace, would these folks, us, be willing to accept the fact that our ego's savage purpose is directed against us? Yeah, that's the question. Am I willing to accept the fact that my attacking purpose, my savage purpose, is directed against me? Every time I attack, even though I think it's so justified, that savage purpose is directed at me. And no one unites with enemies. And no one is at one with their enemies in purpose. Which means no one compromises with an enemy but hates them still for what their enemy kept from them. So don't mistake truce for peace. And definitely don't confuse compromise for the escape from conflict. Ooh, wait. Beautiful. So don't think that the best way to escape from your conflict is to compromise, attack with peace. Well, I'll just attack a little to defend my peace. I'll just give a little attack to get my peace. That's believing that compromise will enable you to escape from this conflict, and don't think that. You can't get any peace from attacking, even if you tell yourself that is justified and valid. Because you can't keep your peace by defending your peace. You can't keep your peace by attacking someone that you believe is depriving you of peace. Of Course in Miracles is telling us is no one deprives you of peace but yourself by attacking. So don't be fooled into believing that, well, if I just attack this person good enough, I'll feel good, I'll feel peaceful, I'll feel safe, I'll feel happy. If I just give this person enough guilt, they'll love me. That's so insane. If I just attack this person enough, they'll love me and I'll have peace. It's so insane when you hear it, but we don't think about it. We just unconsciously act like that and believe that, never thinking, that is so insane. The thought that if I just give them enough attack and guilt, that they will love me and I'll be peaceful. It's like when you hear it, you realize it's completely insane. But we don't look at how we think. Of Course in Miracles is like, I just want to for a second, let's look at how we actually think. Let's just take a look at it, and I want you to tell me your thoughts. You know, when you look at it, you're like, that's completely insane. How could that work? But you can't ask yourself that question. You can't recognize that until you look, you know, and until you look through the eyes of a mind who is beyond the ego. So beautiful. Okay. Trisha says, I have to stop before I say something, and I ask what it is that I want to come with this, and I ask myself, is this worth giving up my peace? Beautiful. Very good. And that is excellent. And now, it's like, also, we have to ask ourselves, if I attack this person with guilt, will I really feel more peace because of that? Will I really feel better? Will I feel better? You know, will I have more peace if I attack this person with guilt? If I attack this person. Now remember, we hide our attacks, you know, in many different forms where we don't think it's attack. So like, in other words, giving someone guilt, that is not love. That is an attack. That's one of those forms that we hide attack in. And we go, this is loving. I'm giving you guilt because I love you, you know, or I'm trying to control and possess you because I love you. No, that's just a form that we're hiding the attack in. That's attack. It is not love. No matter what form you put attack in, it's still attack. All right. Beautiful. Thank you, Trisha, for that. Trisha says, no, you will not feel good. It eats you. Exactly. If you use attack to defend your peace, then what you will experience is the emotion. You will have frantic fear of retaliation, paranoia, and you will have massive guilt. So in other words, no peace. Frantic fear of retaliation and massive guilt is not peace. We're so retarded that we have to be told that. All right, but at least we're all in the same. We're all the same. If we're here, then we have a lot of learning to do. If we're here, we really don't know the true meaning of love. We don't know yet. We haven't accepted yet that there is no attack in love. We haven't accepted the fact that there's no guilt in love. You know, we haven't accepted the fact that there's no attempt to control or possess in love. And so, you know, so of Course in Miracles seems so difficult for us. But we're all the same here. That's why we're here, to learn what love really means. Of Course in Miracles says, that we are handicapped. The Course in Miracles says we have learning handicaps in a very literal sense. You know, and in the original dictation, it actually says we're retarded. It actually uses that word. But then they edited that word out because, you know, by the time they were editing this, they thought that that was not politically correct. So, but the Course in Miracles literally says that we have learning handicaps in a literal sense. And then it says, and our handicap is we don't know the meaning of love. But we sure think we do. And we're attacking each other and hurting ourselves in the name of love and calling it love. And this is our literal learning handicap. And this is why it seems like love hurts. Love hurts. You only hurt and hate and want to murder the ones you love. You know, that's why love seems like a battleground. That's why our relationships seem like a battlefield. That's why our world literally looks like a battleground. That's why literally the ego is how the ego is turning our world into a literal battleground. Wow. Okay. Greg says, the teacher of God has learned to keep what the teacher wants, peace, and to give up what they don't want, which is attack. Exactly. That's what we are learning. Yes. And Billy says, I shame myself for guilting you. Exactly. That is the point. That's exactly the point. I shame myself for guilting you. Even though I tell myself that guilting you and attacking you with guilt is protecting my peace. Right? That's what I tell myself. That's how I hide my attack. That's how I hide the attack, with smiles or with care or, you know, self-defense. Wow. Okay. I'm going to do one more paragraph, and then that's going to be it. That is it, because this is crazy. The ego does not like this at all. Paragraph 6. To be released from conflict, which means to be released from pain and suffering, means that the pain and suffering and conflict is over. To be released from pain and suffering means that the pain and suffering is over. So funny. It has to tell us that. To be released from conflict, when conflict is over, is the door is open. The door is open. You have left the battleground. This is what it means to be released from conflict. What does it mean to be released from suffering? It means the door is open. It means you've left the battleground. And it means that you're not lingering there on the battleground, cowering, in cowering hope that the fight will not return just because the guns are stilled at instant and the fear that haunts the place of death is not apparent. Okay? That's what it means to say that the suffering is over or the conflict is over. That's what it means. It means the door is open, you've left the battleground. And and to say the conflict is over doesn't mean you're still there on the battleground, cowering, and wondering, you know, when the next bullet's going to fly, even though, you know, the firing is still in quiet, even though the battleground is still in quiet, right? For the conflict to be over, you're not sitting there waiting for the next bullets to fly. That doesn't mean the conflict is over. The conflict is over when the door is open, you've left the battleground. That's it. Now you're not worried anymore about guns and about bullets whizzing over your head, even though the battleground is quiet for a moment. All right. There is no place of safety in a battleground. Okay? So wherever there's conflict, wherever there's attack, there is no safety there. Okay? So a relationship where there's still attack and guilt and condemnation, there is no safety there. Okay? There is no safety on a battleground. Okay, great. Now, you can look down on the battleground in safety from above the battleground, which means not be touched by the battle. But when you're on the battleground, within the battleground, you can find no safety. So if you're in a situation or in a relationship and there is attack going on, Or if you're just in your own mind, there's attack and condemnation going on, you are not going to find or experience safety. Okay, there can't be attack going on, which means guns firing, and safety at the same time. There can't be safety and attack in the same place. There is no safety on a battleground. There is no safety in a place where where the guns of attack are flying, where the bullets of attack and condemnation are flying. So, whether that's in a relationship or in your own mind, okay? Do you want to experience real safety in your own mind, where you experience safety in your own being? I feel safe in my being. Then that means no attack thoughts in your mind. All right, if you want to experience a relationship that feels safe, I feel safe in this relationship, that is a relationship where there is no attack, where the bullets of attack are not flying back and forth, whizzing over your head. Hopefully whizzing over your head. Good to know. But you can look down upon a place of attack from above it and experience an experience of safety. So wherever it is that you are experiencing a battleground right now, whether it's in a relationship or in your world or in your own self, there is a way to look down on this place of attack, this battleground, and experience not being touched by the attack. Good to know. Okay, how do you do that? It says I love it. It says you can look down on a battleground in safety from above the battleground and not be touched by the attack, but from within the battleground you can find no safety. In other words, not one tree left standing still on that battleground will shelter you. Not one illusion of protection stands on that battleground against the faith in attack and murder. Here on the battleground where attack is flying, here stands the body, torn between the natural desire to communicate and join and the unnatural intent to attack and die. That's what's going on a battleground. Here's your body on the battleground. Not one tree standing will shelter you from and keep you safe on that battleground. And here's your body on the battleground, torn between your natural desire to join, not attack, and your unnatural intent to attack and die. That's what's going on a battleground. And you can look on it from above it, and not be touched by it, not be touched by that attack. But on the battleground where you're engaging in it and you're attacking, calling it self-defense, you will find no shelter. You will find no safety. All right, good to know. Like it says, think you the form that murder takes can offer safety, and can guilt be absent from a battlefield? All right, so we're going to stop here, and let's see here. Demi says, oh, here we go. Trisha says, let's see. Trisha says, hooray, the battle is over. I feel the freedom. Beautiful. Yes, Trisha. What does it say? It says, the door is open and you have left the battleground, Trisha. So let's celebrate that. All right? And Demi says, we are so conditioned to games of love, but God is saying, be a honey jar to keep your peace and safety. Beautiful, well said. Trisha says, I have safety now. As of Easter, I go to a place I call home. Beautiful. And home is a real home is a place of safety where there is no attack. Okay? And it goes on to say that God is the only place of real safety, because in God there is no attack. And so real home, our true home, is going to be a place where there is no attack, and we're not, we're not afraid, right? In a place where there's no attack, there's no fear. And ultimately, that is in our mind. Ultimately, we want to experience the place of no attack in our own mind. And the only way to do that is don't let your mind be a battleground. If you let your mind harbor attack thoughts all day long, even if you call them justified and valid, then your mind is a battlefield. Your mind is a battleground. And so you won't find any safety in your own mind, which means and you won't feel safe in your own skin. You won't feel safe in your own mind. And you'll try to find a million different ways to experience safety outside of you, but not one of them will ultimately give you that sense of safety that you desire, that you can't help but desire because it's in your nature. Peace is in your nature. Peace is built in. And so, so what we want to create is we want to create in our mind, we want our mind to no longer be a battleground of attack thoughts, and not for any reason, not even like, I'm defending my peace, I'm defending myself, We don't want our minds to be a battleground anymore so that we can experience true safety within our own being. and so, we don't want our minds to be battlegrounds, and we don't want our relationships to be battlegrounds anymore. We want to experience real love, and real love means no attack. Love and experience of safety they go together. So, and we don't want our world to be a battleground anymore, which means then we have to stop attacking the world, even if we think we're defending our peace. We don't need to defend our peace. You don't need to defend your peace. Your peace doesn't need to be defending. Your peace is built in. It's who you are. It's only when you defend your peace with attack, with guilt, that you lose sight of your peace. So let us remember that, and let us, like what Greg was saying in his comment, let us remember that as teachers and healers, our goal, our job, our function is to keep our peace. Don't give it away. Don't sacrifice it. Don't compromise with it. Don't defend your peace. Keep your peace. When you defend your peace, you're not keeping your peace. So let us remember that our purpose is to keep our peace, and don't give it away by defending it by and through attack and guilt. And so then now your mind becomes a place of true safety. Now your body becomes a place of true safety. Now your relationships become a haven of safety where the weary ones can come and receive their rest. Okay? Now you become a touchstone to the safe and healing thoughts of God itself. So that's our goal here. That's our goal. So now I'm going to do just a couple of minutes of a integration meditation. All the details of the classes that I do and the classes that Greg and I do together, they are in the body of this video, the text of the video, so you can see that there. I just so appreciate you using your very precious time and energy to join this healing circle. And if you would like to support this ministry of miracles and increase the strength of these ideas by joining on them and increasing those who believe them, then like and share and subscribe to this video. So if you're watching on YouTube, then like, share, and subscribe, and that will tell the algorithm that this class is important, and we'll push it out to more people. And if there's any ideas in the whole wide world that this world needs more of, it is this. How to get above the battleground and look upon the battleground with peace and bring peace to the battleground. Hello, this is the time for that. This is the time for that. So, thank you so much. All right, here we go. I love it. Zen says, this is the perfect lesson given the retrograde everyone I know is in an argument or disagreement with each other in some form. It's been really intense lately. This was the perfect lesson for today. Absolutely Zen. And, you know, if you follow what's going on in the world, it seems like that the ego is trying to get World War III going on. So talk about the ego trying to turn our entire planet into a battleground again. I mean, this is the perfect lesson for so many reasons, personally and globally, right now. So thank you, Spirit, for picking this. All right. And thank you all for sharing. I really appreciate your thoughts. It's really wonderful, and it enables us all to take in the material deeper. So thanks. All right, so if you are not driving a car and you are able to close your eyes, wonderful. If not, then just listen and let's apply the ideas like it says. It says, yes, the ideas are hard to believe and accept, but when you apply the ideas, if you'll use the ideas, you will see that they're true. Even if you don't understand them, even if you don't believe them, even if you don't accept them, if you use them because they're true, you will see that they are true, and you will release the miraculous power from those ideas. All right, so let's close our eyes and take a breath. And just notice how these ideas feel when you hear them, when you let them in, even if you don't believe or accept them. How do they feel in your mind, your heart, your body? Beautiful. So now I want you to bring to your awareness a relationship or an experience within your own mind that feels like a battleground, where attack and the bullets of attack and condemnation seem to be flying. Whether that's your global world that seems to be outside you, or a relationship where attack seems to be going by the name of love. Any place you do not feel safe right now, where is it in your world and in your life that you do not feel safe right now? And take a breath. Beautiful. Now I want you to tell yourself my only real and lasting safety comes from not attacking, not giving guilt, not condemning, not judging, whatever form I hide it in, whether it's smiles, whether it's an intent to help, whether it's to defend myself, whether it's justified self-defense. I want you to tell yourself, I do not need to defend my peace. I do not need to defend my peace. My peace was given me, built into me by my Creator in my creation. Peace lives in me. Light and joy and peace live in me. My safety is guaranteed by God. Tell yourself, a child of God cannot be hurt. A child of God cannot be killed. A body, yes, but I am not my body. I am a spirit that was created by God, created eternal, invulnerable. I cannot lose my peace. I can lose sight of it, but I cannot lose it. It was given me by my Creator. Take a breath. And in this situation or relationship, tell yourself, I do not need to attack this person or those people in order to experience feeling truly safe. I do not need to attack this person or these people to be safe, to feel safe. Tell yourself that only my attack of them, only my condemnation and judgment of them is making me feel vulnerable. Tell yourself, my attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. My attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. And I want to feel safe. I want to feel safe in my own self. I want to feel safe in my relationships. I want to feel safe in my world. So I want you to now, in your mind's eye, in your heart, I want you to release this person or these people from guilt. I want you to stop attacking them. Release them from guilt. Take back their condemnation of them. Let go your judgments of them. You do not know them. You did not create them. You are not their author. You cannot judge them. You do not know them. You did not create them. And your judgments are wrong. And your judgments of them are only hurting you. Pull them back. Drop them. Let them go. And in their place now, offer innocence. Offer release from guilt. Offer them no attack. Offer them no judgment. Offer them only love. Only gratitude. And if you can't offer them love, offer them gratitude. Offer them appreciation for their good efforts. Offer them appreciation and gratitude for the gifts they have given you. Release them from guilt for not knowing how to love you perfectly. You don't love them perfectly. Thank God for them. These are your teachers, your healers, your appointed friends. Thank God for them. Just feel what that feels like. Let that feeling set in you. Let this feeling set. Notice how good it feels. Notice how liberating. Notice how freeing this feeling feels inside of you. Notice how it feels to feel safe on the inside of yourself. Beautiful. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for joining this healing circle. I appreciate you more than I can say. You're awesome. All right. Hey, honey, would you be willing to turn off just hit the end? Hi. Hi, Dan. Hi, Lynette. Love you guys.